Hey, I'm Vic's dad,
I'm Tiki.
and welcome to Mob Boss 101 is what we're calling this. We're going to be sipping some scotch and trying out a cigar.
Which I've smoked cigars before,
And you've drank scotch before.
and I've drank scotch before.
I've done neither.
I've done both at the same time.
So Tiki is our everything aficionado, and we're just going to jump right into it with this scotch. It is pronounced Glenlivet?
Glenlivet.
Glenlivet.
Leave it, Glenn.
That's how you can
Don't
remember
do it.
Glenn just needs to leave it. As most scotches, it comes in a lovely fancy box.
Do love the box. Oh,
And I actually haven't opened this, nor do I know how.
you know, you pull the thing and then it just goes around the thing and
There
then
is an arrow. They
follow the arrow, Vic's dad.
they try to make it easy for you.
But it's Vic's dad they're dealing with.
It's a cork. That actually smells really sweet. Like it
Yep.
reminds me of wine.
Actually, a little bit.
So I've poured what's probably slightly more than a dram in my. I think that's pronounced right. I really don't know.
Dram, whatever.
Dramamine. All right.
That was amazing.
But basically, a dram is 1.5 ounces of your scotch. That's the typical serving size. It's also a shot. But, anyways, since I've never drank scotch before, I figured putting it on the rocks is going to be nice and smooth for me.
Classic.
Yes. And you are drinking yours on stones.
On stones.
Slightly different.
So stoned, man.
That's why we're wearing these sunglasses. Yeah, I've got my scotch on the rocks. You've got your scotch on the stones. Mine feels pretty chill, so
We'll
the
see.
thing with scotch, you're not really supposed to like slam it. You're supposed to sniff it, appreciate it. It's a whole experience. If you drink it quickly, it's probably not for the best.
It's a slow drink.
And Glenlivet is supposed to be a pretty good one for beginners. It's about $33 for this bottle. 33 bottles of scotch on the wall.
33 bottles of scotch. Cheers.
We're gonna see how this goes here. Okay. So another thing about scotch is
As
you
he
need
dies.
you need to get past the burning.
It does. So if you get like a really fancy scotch, you probably won't have nearly as much burn. For me, actually, this isn't a lot. I've had worse.
It's relatively smooth compared to some whiskeys I've had. The burn is not part of the flavor. Obviously it's going to dominate it, but you really just need to work past the burn. I'm still kind of recovering. I think I sipped a little bit too much there. I'll let you take it away. What are your thoughts?
It is nice. I'm not really sure how to describe it though. I feel bad.
You feel bad. I feel terrible. I'm trying to get used to it. I do really like that I put an ice cube in here because if this was room
Dilutes it.
temperature and in full strength, I'd probably be dying even more here. It does definitely taste like whiskey. This is a single malt scotch. It's not a blend. I'm just telling you things that I know because I'm really struggling to come up with some good words here to describe it. I will say, being my first scotch, it's probably a good one for beginners because if it tasted any more potent or complicated than this, it would probably just be a disaster.
I guess what I could say, at least taste-wise, it's slightly toasty. It's not smoked, but it has a slight toasty taste.
Toasty.
Toasty. I don't know. Otherwise, it just tastes kind of malty. I'm not sure. It's nice and relatively smooth. Like, I don't mind it.
The burn's getting less burny, but like I really am struggling here to come up with some more words about it. It just tastes like whiskey. It tastes like smooth whiskey. I
Yeah,
wish I could
it's-
dissect it more, but really that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, it is definitely a sweeter scotch.
Yeah.
Not super sweet, but a little bit more sweet.
It's on the sweeter end. So I'd say if you're trying to get into scotch, it's probably going to take you some time to actually get into it, likely. I don't know how long it took you to enjoy it.
Well, I already liked whiskey, so it was pretty easy.
Okay. If you like whiskey, scotch is a good next step.
I went from black velvet to Tomatin.
Oh. That's quite the difference. And if you were able
Yeah.
to deal with black velvet, that plastic bottle stuff,
Yeah.
it's no wonder.
Regrets.
Understandable. But hey, this is just we're gonna experiment with this some more in the future because I would like to drink more of this. We're gonna pair.
We're not going to be like Glenn and leave it. We're
No.
going to use it.
Yes. Damn Glenn. But we are going to pair this now with a cigar because scotch and cigars are a pretty Pretty fancy combo, I think. That's why we're all dressed up today. So over here, we have the Churchill cigar that I bought at the same liquor store I got this. I don't really know anything else about it. You're the cigar guy, so I'll let you kind of take it away here.
Well, the Churchill is just the style of cigar.
Yes, it's a very big cigar.
Yeah, it's just kind of a long one. I don't know the Olivasserie, I think. I don't know if that's pronounced correctly, but
We're gonna roll with it.
anyways, I don't smoke cigars very often. I've had like some Romeo and Julietas. What was that other brand? It's a nice brand. Smells good.
All right, so how do you smoke a cigar, Tiki?
So, we smoke a cigar. We have to light it. We don't have matches. They're inside. God damn it.
Please pause for these messages from our sponsor.
What sponsor?
Today's sponsor. Not really a sponsor because they haven't paid us. I paid my own money for this. But Teener Tor? Teener Tor. Teener Tor. These are green tea oil absorbing sheets. We use them before our videos whenever we remember to. They soak up the oil on your face. They make you look not greasy. Really important, especially when you have no idea how to do makeup. It's the next best thing for recording videos because the last thing you want is to be shiny. So, Teener Tor, oil absorbing sheets. Buy them. So, Tiki,
Yeah.
how do you light a cigar?
You light it with matches.
Incredible.
Matches.
Because
Matches.
matches don't leave a butane taste in the entire thing. But isn't there another step though? Because I notice there's no hole. There's no hole.
You are exactly right, Vikstad.
So how do we do?
You know how we're gonna make that hole?
No.
We're gonna.
How do we get that hole to smoke through, Tiki?
So, to get the hole, as you can see, there is no hole on the end. But, to get that, there is a couple ways. I wish I had the other way, but I don't, because I like doing that way better. You can
Shame.
do a punch cut, or you can use a classic cutter. I seem to have misplaced my punch cut, so we're just going to do the classic cut. And the way to do this, at least the way that I was taught, was to, on the end here, you can see that there's like a little rounded edge. This one's a little bit more square and it's pretty short, but there's a rounded edge at the end. And what you're gonna do is you want to get 3/4 of that end, and that's where you're gonna wanna cut. So you don't wanna go all the way up into here. You wanna get about 3/4 of that little nub on the end. And
Okay.
that's where you're gonna wanna cut.
Is there a specific reason for that?
Just to kind of constrict airflow a little bit. I mean, you could go a little bit farther back if you want, but
So you still want that tapering.
yes,
You don't want to just have a whole thick slab coming in your mouth.
right, exactly.
Good
No
life
one likes a
advice.
good thick slab coming into their mouth immediately. But anyways, yeah, you don't want to cut it fully up onto that thick slab.
You still want the tapering so that
Yes.
you've got some sort of cone going in.
Yep, that way it can kind of filter the smoke through. And the reason why I like punch cutting is you don't have to worry about getting any sort of distance or anything like that to make sure you have the right taper. It's just kind of, you just punch a hole in the end, pull it out, and you're good to go.
All
Love
right.
it.
So let's give it the old snipperoo.
All right. Hopefully I don't mess this up. It's been a while since I've done this.
I believe in you. I believe in your ability to do it better than me.
I do too.
Gee, thanks,
Sorry.
bro.
Sorry, Vikstad.
No, I understand.
That was decent.
All right.
It was decent. It was okay.
Cool. So, with that, let's light her up.
Also good to just kind of make sure that you can breathe through it too.
Just a little suction test.
Yep. All right. So this is probably going to go terribly, but we'll give her a shot.
Here we go. Nice. And from what I'm seeing here, since Tiki can't do this and talk at the same time, it looks like you're supposed to do a little bit of puffing to get that flame going in. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to light it pretty evenly. Mm-hmm. This original match did not do that. It kind of went out pretty quick. So he's just going to make sure we get a nice even burn going on. And another thing, too, I feel like I should say, don't inhale cigars. That's how you throw up.
Yes. Do not inhale cigars. I've been told it's like smoking 1,000 cigarettes at once.
Oof.
So what you're going to do when you pull the drag, You're gonna get it into your mouth, but you're not gonna fully breathe in.
It's kind
So
of like
just-
the same suction as like drinking a soda through a straw or something, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Like if you take a straw, you've got your soda, and you suck it into your mouth, but you don't swallow it. That's what you're doing with this.
Yeah. You don't want to inhale. You
Yes.
just want to get suction, but not to your lungs, just in your mouth.
Yep, you're just supposed to get the flavor in your mouth and release.
You just want to get a taste of it. You don't want to embrace it. This is all what I've read and been told. This is going to be the first time I've actually ever tried a cigar, so this will be interesting.
Cheers.
Thank you, sir. This is a big one.
It is a big one. You gotta. It's if you take
No, it's fine. I
slower,
accidentally
more.
inhaled.
Oh. And it can be nice to do, to make sure you get some smoke in there. If you take like a few quick puffs, and then take one larger puff at the end of it. So like say 3-4 quick puffs, and just kind of letting it out, and then bringing in one bigger puff. You can get a little bit more.
See, unfortunately, I've trained my breathing too well that it's just natural for me to want to inhale. I'm trying desperately not to do that, but it's interesting. It's slightly spicy.
Yeah. That's a good way to describe it.
I don't know if I'm supposed to hold it a certain way. There's a lot to hold on to.
Not necessarily. I mean, the old mob bosses and whatnot would, they just like hold it with their teeth and
Yeah,
lip
see?
and just like, see?
I'm not even doing an accent.
What are you trying to say?
I feel like I'm not quite doing it right just because I'm not really exhaling anything. I'm definitely getting a lot of flavor, though.
Oh, yeah.
It's certainly very spicy. At least that's what I'm getting. I feel like tobacco in general is usually spicy.
Yeah.
Not like cigarette tobacco, but like cigar tobacco is just
I mean,
spice.
if you think about it, though, this is just straight up tobacco leaves, super compressed together.
Yeah, it's very different than the tobacco leaf that you find in a cigarette.
So, Vikstad,
Yeah.
try doing it like this. I believe in you. That was better. That was better.
Still
You're getting
inhaled. I need to learn to not inhale. But yeah, no, just watching that visual aid it helped. Hopefully it helps you as well. Or not.
I mean, for the
Do
most
the-
part, though, that's how you smoke a cigar.
Well, I'm going to calm down my mouth with some scotch here. Overall, I went into this pretty sure that I was not going to enjoy it. I'm hating it less than I thought I would.
Yeah,
That doesn't really say a whole lot.
but actually, with this type of cigar and this scotch, it blends nicely. So the whole thing about cigars and scotch going together, they were right.
Yeah.
They had the right idea.
They do seem like a pretty good pairing. My mouth is still just blown away by everything, but I will say this. The harshness of the cigar and the harshness of the scotch kind of battle to create more of a smoother experience.
Yeah.
It's weird, but it works. They're so completely different in tastes that
There's a bug.
they're so completely different in tastes that they battle, and your taste buds are just so confused that they're just like, okay, I can deal. That's at least the experience I'm getting. I don't know if you're feeling the same way at all.
No, I mean, I guess the sort of the quote unquote spiciness of the tobacco kind of lends itself to make the scotch smoother, which is probably what you were talking about.
Yes. The scotch is a lot smoother coming to it after the cigar. Also, my ice cube's melting a lot, so that might have something to do with it as well.
Mine is just straight, basically.
Yours is. Yours is a lot more golden than mine is. Mine's turning into like a green tea looking sort of drink.
Surprise, we've been drinking green tea the whole time.
Tricked, yeah. I can understand the people who put like a splash of water in their whiskey or scotch now.
Yep.
Because it literally just tastes diluted. For some people, that's not really ideal because you do want that full flavor happening. But if you're new to it like me and you take it and you're just like, this is way too much, it's a good way. It's a good way to deal.
Just dilute it a little bit.
It's a little bit of water.
It's gonna be okay.
It'll be all right. Or you'll hate it. In which case, we'll be exploring some scotch cocktails in the future. They probably
They
exist.
probably exist.
I'm sure they do. So, Tiki, you've smoked cigars in the past.
Yeah.
How long would you say a cigar typically burns for?
Depends on the size.
A cigar of this size, a Churchill.
Of that size, if you are sucking on it like almost consistently, maybe an hour.
If you're not,
If you're taking your time on it, hour and a half.
okay.
Okay, so here's some more cigar stuff. So, for a lot of starters, including myself, I started with a brand called Acid. They're nice because they actually like sweeten the tobacco on the outside layer. And so when you're taking your drags, whatnot, you're not getting just tobacco. It's like on your lips, it's kind of sweet. They'll have different flavors or whatnot, but it's just like a sweeter taste. And so it's not as alarming at first. And they're generally about that big. So they're drastically smaller than what we're smoking today.
That's probably a good way to start because we're going to need to put this out.
Yeah. But yeah, I started on acids. It's a good way to start. Not an abrupt tobacco flavor right off the bat. But if you want to get a serious like cigar flavor right from the get-go, I wouldn't skimp out. I'd get something that's at least, I know this isn't super expensive, but at least like $10. 10 to 15.
Mm-hmm.
That's generally a good place to start to get something a little more quality.
Yeah. This was $11 for reference. And I went into the liquor store and I asked the clerk, what do you recommend for a beginner for a cigar? Someone who's never smoked a cigar before, what would you recommend? He looked around at all the options. He thought about it for a good 30, 45 seconds, came back with this one. He's like, here, this is relatively smooth. It's a good price. Try it out. Let me know what you think. So I'm going to have to go back there and let him know that it's pretty all right.
It's good.
I'm not hating it. My lungs are, but I personally am not.
Well, you shouldn't be breathing it in, bro.
I know. Look, it took me a little bit to get used to it. You're probably going to mess up on your first try.
You will.
Yeah, the natural inclination to inhale, if you've ever smoked anything before that you inhale, like a cigarette, you're going to want to inhale. It's going to take a little bit of correction, and ideally you can have someone a little bit more experienced to show you the way. Or you can just watch this video. That works too. Can you blow, like, smoke circles with the cigar?
I haven't done it in a long time. Let's see if I can do it. It's much easier with hookah.
Yeah. Hookah, you get that nice thick smoke.
I don't remember how to... Oh, that's right. It's been so long.
You're supposed to, like, tap the side of your mouth or something?
Yep.
Okay. It probably works better without any wind going on, because I'm just watching the smoke just go.
I saw a couple briefly, but I can't do it out here.
We tried. You can try as well. Long story short, that's all we got.
Cigars, Scotch. There you go. Mob Boss 101.
Good combo. I don't know what I got in my mouth. It was either some shit in the glass or some shit from the cigar.
Probably from the cigar. Yeah.
Okay,
So,
I physically cannot deal with this anymore, so...
one more thing, really quick. With cigar, one pro to punching it in the back instead of cutting it is you have a much less chance of getting tobacco in your mouth,
Yes.
which is always ideal. It also does intensify the flavor a little bit if you have just like a smaller opening, since it all concentrates into one little area.
Okay. Your first time with a cigar, you're probably looking at less than $20 investment.
Yeah.
$10 for the cigar, $3 to $5 for that. If you don't have matches, get some matches.
Yep. Otherwise, if you do need to, you can use like a torch lighter. It's very convenient, but it can alter the taste.
Yeah. You just don't want that butane in there.
Yeah.
One final question.
Do not use a Bic lighter.
Do not use a Bic lighter. That is important, because that will ruin the flavor from what I've been told.
Yes.
Just one final question for you, Tiki.
Yeah.
How do you stop this? Do we just cut it off?
Basically, I mean, you can. Basically, just kind of snuff it.
Okay. I was trying to do that, and it was giving me a lot of resistance, so I wasn't sure if I was just mashing it.
The one issue with that is then you start kind of breaking the edge.
Okay. So
But-
you could probably just cut the burning off, right?
I mean, yeah, you could. It might kind of do this breakaway, but go for it. Look at that. That wasn't too bad.
And there you have it. That
Ready
is
to
out.
go. Ready to go for next time.
That's still on fire.
Yes, it is.
So, with that, thanks for joining us.
I was Ticky.
And I'm still Vic's and we figured we'd try something new. If you liked it, let us know. If you didn't, let us know.
Yeah.
We're just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Yep, we're just trying things out.
It's really the only way to do this, and honestly, we're doing this for us. But we're also doing it for you. So just let us know what you want to see. We'll do our best.
Yep.
So, again, thanks for watching. Join us next time. Who knows what it'll be. This came out of nowhere.
We'll see you later.
Bye.